We start with 1 hour chart. We want to see how we can look for trade or chart. First of all, if we refer to our analysis, since the price was within this move, I was keep highlighting we can expect the price to drop. This is what we get because we mentioned we want to look for this flat. And we mentioned we can look for reversal, and this is the next one. Exactly the price broke the previous top, and I highlighted with the breakout of this top, mostly we can see the divergence. And exactly this is what we get. All right. That's why I was keep highlighting when the price was here, the price can drop and reverse. And because we mentioned we're looking for running flat. But the only thing is when the price was within this move exactly here, I mentioned the way this one is moving is really corrective. Mostly we cannot get any trade set up to for buy unless we trade based on lower time frame. That's why I mentioned if I want to look for buy, I prefer I get one more drop. Then from there, if I get the reversal, we look for buy. Okay, it doesn't mean we couldn't look for buy. We could, and mostly we could look for trade setup based on lower time frame. But what I do here, I want to show the analysis how we can look for chart and how we can get the trade setup. All right, that's why I try to highlight those trade setup that technically we can look for buy or sell. Okay, that doesn't mean the price. Even I mentioned it doesn't. I mentioned that it doesn't mean the price cannot continue. It can, but in terms of I mean, if we wants to look for trade setup, mostly we cannot get. As we can see, there was no trade setup, and even if anyone bought from here, they should start to manage because we have a divergence. Okay, now we need to see whether the price can drop or not. That's why buying right now we need to be really careful because the next level, which is around 2915, is the highest price of the bigger picture for this correction. We're referring to this. Okay. In this case, we move to daily chart and we want to see how we can look at the chart in the bigger picture. First of all, if we refer to our analysis, in my last video, we mentioned if this is the correction and this is the start of the up move, we need to see the breakout of the stop. Okay, that's why buying within this range, we need to be really careful. The reason is this one can turn to flat for one more drop. Every times we mention about this, that's why we need to confirm this is the start. When with the breakout of this stop, to confirm this is the start of the up move. If this one turn to flat, the next move the price can at least retest the 2K. Okay, and now if I move to forward chart, and beside that I was highlighting in case this one turn to a correction in relative to this. That's why we mentioned if we're looking for trade, we need to be quite careful. Even we have been since the price was within this move, I was keep highlighting about the flat. The price broke the top. 1 hour chart, we have a divergence. Okay, we need to know that in case if he wants to look for buy, there is a possibility for price to go as one more drop before reverse. We are not going to sell it unless we get the confirmation. Again, we need to know if we wants to look for continuation, we have this possibility. This is the only things we can consider based on forward chart. And right now, we cannot put this one as a flat. The best things is if the price retests the top, then from there we need to see whether there is a continuation or not. Because if not, then from there we can put this one as a bigger flat for one more drop. And the next drop after the price tag the top, the next drop can be similar to what we get here. The possibility of the price retest and break this low is very less, unless Bitcoin or the rest move similar to what we get here. Okay. And if I move to 1 hour chart, and this is what we see. If we want to look for buy, if there is a continuation with the flag, maybe we can consider for buy for as a short term. But again, we need to be aware of the flat. That means if we get any trade setup, we need to see the continuation as a short move. If it turns to a corrective move within 2 to 4 hours maximum, for me, if I get any trade within this range, I see even within 2 to 3 hours is not moving, I just take out the trade. Okay, because buying at this top is not a really good idea, and I won't suggest it to look for buy unless we get the confirmation. That's why we have been waiting for the price to drop before we get the next move, because I mentioned we will get the divergence. Then what should we do right now? Whoever get the trade within this, they should start to manage. And right now we don't have any trade setup either for buy or sell. If there is a continuation, if we want to see that to look for trade within this, mostly we should trade based on lower time frame. It depends on the traders. Okay, but how about if the price continue from here? We wait for the breakout of the top, we see the confirmation, then from there mostly we can get the trade set up to look for trade. It doesn't mean we cannot look for trade within this. It's a short-term trade. We need to see. Simply, I cannot say if we get a sharp move flag, we take the trade because almost we are at the top of this correction. But how about if the price, this one is a divergence, we get as a one correction next. How about if we get sharp move down flag if we get a sell? This is what we are looking for. Okay, I don't want to say the price is going to drop, but I want to see if I get the sell setup, I will take it. Because in terms of the risk and reward, it can give me a better trade in case the price can retest the previous low. But right now, we don't have any trade. Okay, and even if I want to look for sell, I want to see the sharp move, deeper correction, then I will take the trade. I need to see the confirmation for the price to reverse. Right now, we have a divergence, but still, we don't have a confirmation. Let this one continue a bit more. Turns to a corrective move. If this one turns to a corrective move, mostly if we get any sharp move with a correction, we can look for sell. But if I see this one, any sell setup, I will give an update. It doesn't mean if we get any drop, we can take the sell. We need to see get the confirmation. And for continuation, I just explained. And right now, buying at this one is not a really good idea. And whoever get the trade from here, they should take out the trade in a break even or move their stop loss to break even simply because of what we have here. Okay, whatever I try to mention here, it doesn't mean the price cannot continue. I don't want to see that. Just I want to see how we can look for trade. Rather than that, it depends on traders how they trade, what type of the strategy they use, and else. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.